Thinking clearly is not something that happens automatically. It's a skill, one that requires dedication, patience, and a willingness to grow in self-awareness. Remember, this journey is a process, not a destination. With each step you take, you move closer to a mind that is calm, focused, and resilient. A mind that reflects the wisdom and peace within you. Imagine a life where every decision you made came from a place of deep, unshakable clarity. A place where the noise of the world couldn't touch you, where your mind was as calm and steady as a still lake reflecting the sky. Sounds almost unreal, doesn't it? Yet this kind of clarity isn't some unattainable dream. It's a state of being that lies within each of us, waiting to be uncovered. In today's fast-paced society, we're surrounded by endless distractions. Notifications buzz in our pockets, opinions flood our screens, and the pressure to keep up often leaves us feeling overwhelmed. The constant pull of external voices and demands can make it hard to hear our own inner wisdom. In this whirlwind of noise, clarity, true, deep clarity, has become not just rare, but a priceless treasure. Imagine the power of being able to cut through all that chaos. Picture yourself navigating life's challenges with focus, confidence, and peace of mind. That's the kind of transformation we're talking about today. It's not about shutting out the world or retreating from your responsibilities. It's about developing the tools to see through the distractions, to reconnect with what truly matters, and to think with purpose and precision. How do we achieve this? The answer lies in ancient wisdom that has stood the test of time. For centuries, Buddhist teachings have offered profound insights into the nature of the mind and the path to inner peace. These teachings aren't just abstract philosophies, they are practical principles that can be applied to modern life. They can help you simplify your thoughts, sharpen your focus, and create a mental environment where clarity thrives. Today, we're going to explore 6 powerful Buddhist principles that will guide you toward that crystal-clear state of mind. These principles are like tools, each designed to help you navigate a different aspect of life's complexities. Whether it's dealing with uncertainty, managing your emotions, or making decisions that align with your true self, these teachings offer profound solutions. And here's the beauty of it. You don't need to be a Buddhist or follow a particular spiritual path to benefit from these ideas. They are universal truths, accessible to anyone who is willing to pause, reflect, and embrace a new way of thinking. These principles will help you not only think more clearly, but also see the world and your place in it with greater depth and understanding. So, if you've ever felt like your mind is racing, like you're being pulled in 100 directions at once, or like you're struggling to find your footing in a world that never stops moving, this journey is for you. Let's uncover the timeless art of clear thinking and unlock the peace and power that come with it. Are you ready to step into a calmer, wiser, and more purposeful version of yourself? Let's dive into these 6 transformative principles and begin this journey toward clarity together. Principle 1. Cut through the noise. In today's fast-paced world, our minds are inundated with a constant stream of information. Emails, social media notifications, breaking news, endless opinions, and to-do lists that seem to grow by the minute. This relentless barrage creates a mental fog, clouding our ability to think clearly. The noise isn't just external, it takes root in our minds, breeding overthinking, anxiety, and distraction. But amidst this chaos, Buddhism offers a timeless antidote: mindfulness. At its core, mindfulness is the practice of bringing your attention fully to the present moment. It's not about forcing your thoughts to disappear or striving for perfection. Instead, it's about cultivating awareness and learning to observe your thoughts without being swept away by them. This practice is like a gentle anchor, keeping you grounded in the now and cutting through the mental noise that clouds your clarity. The nature of mental noise. To truly grasp the transformative power of mindfulness, consider your mind as a still pond. When your mind is calm and clear, it's like the pond on a tranquil day. You can see straight to the bottom, where everything is illuminated and in focus. Each thought that arises is like a ripple on the water. A few ripples here and there are natural, even beautiful, adding life to the stillness. But when the surface is bombarded with endless ripples, the water becomes turbulent and clarity is lost. Modern life generates this turbulence almost constantly. Every ping of your phone, every headline you read, and every fleeting worry or regret creates ripples in your mental pond. Over time, the surface becomes so agitated that it feels impossible to regain stillness. This is where mindfulness steps in, not to eliminate the ripples entirely, but to reduce their intensity and help you reconnect with the calm beneath the surface. Understanding and practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness isn't a complicated or mystical practice. It's deceptively simple, yet profoundly impactful. It starts with something as basic as noticing your breath. The next time you feel overwhelmed, try this. Pause and take a deep breath. Pay close attention to the sensation of the air entering and leaving your nostrils. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. In doing so, you're anchoring your awareness to the present moment. This small act of focus begins to quiet the noise. But mindfulness isn't just about breathing exercises, it's a way of being. It means fully engaging with whatever you're doing in the moment, whether it's sipping your morning tea, walking in nature, or even washing the dishes. The key is to bring your full attention to the experience without judgment or distraction. For instance, if you're drinking tea, notice the warmth of the cup in your hands, the aroma rising from the liquid, and the taste as it touches your tongue. Resist the urge to let your mind wander to the emails waiting for you or the errands you need to run. By immersing yourself in these small moments, you train your mind to focus, reducing the mental chatter that clouds your thoughts. Overcoming common barriers. Of course, practicing mindfulness in a world filled with distractions is easier said than done. You might find your mind wandering or feel frustrated when intrusive thoughts persist. This is completely normal. The essence of mindfulness lies not in achieving perfection, but in gently guiding your attention back each time it strays. A helpful metaphor is to think of your thoughts as clouds drifting across the sky. Your awareness, the still observing part of you, is the vast blue sky beneath them. No matter how many clouds come and go, the sky itself remains unchanged. Similarly, your thoughts are transient. By practicing mindfulness, you learn to observe them without becoming entangled, just as you would watch clouds pass, without trying to push them away or hold on to them. Mindfulness as a tool for clarity. As you cultivate mindfulness, you'll notice a remarkable shift in your ability to think clearly. When the noise in your mind quiets, your mental pond settles, allowing you to see things as they truly are. You begin to notice patterns in your thoughts and behaviors that might have gone unnoticed before. You can distinguish between what truly matters and what is merely noise. This clarity empowers you to make decisions with confidence and respond to challenges with calmness and wisdom. Mindfulness also enhances your ability to focus. In a world designed to scatter your attention, the ability to concentrate on a single task is a superpower. By practicing mindfulness, you strengthen your mental muscles, making it easier to stay present and engaged. Whether you're working on a project, having a conversation, or simply enjoying a moment of stillness, mindfulness helps you show up fully, unburdened by distractions. Practical ways to incorporate mindfulness into daily life. Mindfulness doesn't require long hours of meditation or dramatic lifestyle changes. It can be woven seamlessly into your everyday routine. Here are some simple ways to get started. 1. Mindful breathing. Take 5 minutes each day to focus solely on your breath. Set a timer, close your eyes, and notice the rhythm of your breathing. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back. 2. Mindful walking. Whether you're walking to your car or taking a stroll in the park, pay attention to the sensation of your feet touching the ground, the movement of your legs, and the rhythm of your steps. Notice the sights and sounds around you. 3. Mindful eating. During meals, put away your devices and savor each bite. Notice the textures, flavors, and aromas of your food. Eating mindfully not only enhances your enjoyment, but also helps you recognize when you're truly satisfied. 4. Mindful listening. When speaking with someone, give them your full attention. Instead of planning your response while they're talking, truly listen to their words, tone, and emotions. 5. Body scan. Before bed, take a moment to check in with your body. Starting at your toes, slowly bring your attention to each part of your body, noticing any tension or sensations. The ripple effect of mindfulness. As mindfulness becomes a habit, its benefits ripple out into every area of your life. You may find that you're more patient with others, less reactive to stress, and more attuned to the beauty of the present moment. Your relationships deepen, your productivity improves, and your overall sense of well-being increases. But perhaps the most profound gift of mindfulness is the clarity it brings. When your mind is still and focused, you can see the world and yourself with greater depth and understanding. This clarity isn't just about making better decisions. It's about living with intention, embracing each moment fully, and finding peace amidst the chaos. In a world that constantly pulls us away from ourselves, mindfulness is a path back home. It's a reminder that beneath the noise and turbulence, there is always a calm, clear space waiting to be rediscovered. By practicing mindfulness, you're not only reclaiming your clarity, but also transforming the way you experience life. Start small. Start today. With each mindful breath, step, or moment of awareness, you're quieting the ripples and uncovering the stillness beneath. And in that stillness, you'll find the clarity, peace, and wisdom you've been searching for. Principle 2. Master the power of detachment. In Buddhism, attachment is often described as one of the root causes of suffering. It binds us to desires, outcomes, and expectations, creating a lens through which we view the world. This lens distorts reality and clouds our thinking, leading to decisions driven by fear, frustration, or impatience rather than clarity and wisdom. When we cling too tightly to what we want, or fear losing what we have, we trap ourselves in a cycle of emotional turbulence that clouds our judgment. However, detachment, as taught in Buddhist philosophy, offers a path to freedom. It is important to clarify that detachment is not about abandoning responsibilities, giving up on goals, or becoming indifferent to life. Rather, it is about loosening the grip of rigid expectations and emotional dependencies. It is a mindset that allows us to engage fully with life without being controlled by the need for specific outcomes. By practicing detachment, we free our minds to see situations more clearly and make decisions from a place of balance and wisdom. The burden of attachment. Attachment often stems from our desire for control. We set expectations for how things should unfold, how others should behave, or what outcomes we believe will bring us happiness. When reality deviates from these expectations, as it often does, we experience disappointment, frustration, or even despair. This emotional reaction clouds our ability to think rationally and respond effectively to life's challenges. Imagine, for example, that you are deeply attached to the idea of being seen as successful in your career. This attachment may drive you to work tirelessly, sacrificing personal well-being and relationships in the process. Yet, if setbacks occur, whether a missed promotion, criticism from peers, or an unexpected failure, you may interpret these events as personal failures rather than natural parts of life. The fear of not meeting your ideal image of success can lead to hasty or emotionally charged decisions, further complicating the situation. Detachment, on the other hand, allows you to approach these challenges with clarity. By releasing the need to control or define success in a rigid way, you can see setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities for growth or redirection. This perspective not only reduces suffering, but also empowers you to navigate difficulties with grace and insight. What detachment really means? Detachment is not synonymous with apathy or indifference. It doesn't mean you stop caring about your goals, relationships, or dreams. Instead, it means letting go of the emotional chains that bind you to specific outcomes. It is the practice of engaging wholeheartedly in life while maintaining an inner sense of freedom. Think of detachment as taking off a pair of tinted glasses that distort reality. When you are attached, these glasses filter everything through the lens of your desires and fears, making it difficult to see things as they truly are. Detachment removes these filters, enabling you to view situations with objectivity and clarity. For instance, if you're in a difficult relationship, attachment might lead you to hold tightly to the idea of how the relationship should be. You might cling to unrealistic expectations or try to force changes that aren't possible. This can create conflict, frustration, and emotional exhaustion. Detachment, however, allows you to accept the relationship as it is, recognizing its strengths and limitations without trying to control or resist them. From this place of acceptance, you can make choices, whether to work on the relationship, set boundaries, or let go, that are rooted in wisdom rather than fear. The benefits of detachment. Detachment brings numerous benefits to your mental and emotional well-being. Here are some of the key ways it can transform your life. 1. Clarity of mind. Attachment often creates emotional biases that cloud our judgment. By practicing detachment, you can step back from these biases and view situations with a calm, rational perspective. This clarity enables you to make decisions that align with your values and long-term well-being, rather than reacting impulsively to short-term emotions. 2. Emotional resilience. When you're attached, your happiness becomes tied to external circumstances. A promotion, a compliment, or a favorable outcome may bring temporary joy, but the fear of losing these things creates stress and anxiety. Detachment frees you from this cycle, allowing you to maintain a sense of inner peace regardless of external events. This resilience helps you face life's ups and downs with greater equanimity. 3. Improved relationships. Attachment in relationships often manifests as expectations or demands. You might expect your partner, family, or friends to behave in certain ways to meet your emotional needs. When these expectations are unmet, frustration and conflict arise. Detachment allows you to love and appreciate others for who they are without trying to control or change them. This creates healthier, more authentic connections. 4. Enhanced decision-making. When you are attached to a specific outcome, you may make decisions based on fear, greed, or pride rather than wisdom. Detachment allows you to evaluate options objectively, considering the bigger picture rather than being driven by immediate desires. This leads to choices that are more thoughtful and aligned with your true values. Practical steps to cultivate detachment. Detachment is a practice that requires patience and consistency. Here are some practical steps to help you cultivate this mindset. 1. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness helps you become aware of your thoughts and emotions without becoming entangled in them. By observing your attachments as they arise, you can begin to loosen their grip. For example, when you notice yourself fixating on a specific outcome, pause and take a few deep breaths. Acknowledge your feelings without judgment and remind yourself that your worth is not dependent on this outcome. 2. Reflect on impermanence. Buddhism teaches that everything in life is impermanent. Jobs, relationships, possessions, even our own emotions. By reflecting on this truth, you can begin to let go of the illusion of permanence that fuels attachment. Recognizing that change is inevitable allows you to embrace life's fluidity with grace and acceptance. 3. Focus on the process. Rather than fixating on results, shift your focus to the process. For example, if you're working toward a goal, find joy in the effort and growth it brings, rather than obsessing over whether you'll succeed. This shift reduces the pressure of attachment and allows you to engage more fully in the present moment. 4. Set healthy boundaries. Detachment doesn't mean withdrawing from life or avoiding responsibilities. It means engaging with the world in a balanced way. Setting boundaries helps you protect your mental and emotional well-being while maintaining healthy connections with others. 5. Cultivate gratitude. Gratitude helps counteract attachment by shifting your focus from what you lack to what you have. By appreciating the present moment and the blessings in your life, you create a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. Living with detachment. As you practice detachment, you'll begin to notice subtle but profound changes in your life. Situations that once triggered anxiety or frustration will feel less overwhelming. Your relationships will become more harmonious as you release the need to control or fix others. Most importantly, you'll experience a growing sense of inner peace and freedom. Detachment doesn't mean you stop striving or caring. It means you approach life with an open hand rather than a clenched fist. It's about engaging fully with the world while remaining anchored in your own inner stability. By letting go of the need to control every outcome, you free yourself to live with greater clarity, wisdom, and joy. In this way, detachment is not a loss. It's a profound gain. It's the freedom to see things as they truly are, to act from a place of wisdom rather than fear, and to experience life in its fullness without being weighed down by unnecessary burdens. As you cultivate detachment, you'll discover that clarity, peace, and fulfillment were within you all along. Principle 3. Simplify complex thoughts. In our fast-paced and ever-complicated world, the mind has a natural tendency to overthink and overcomplicate problems. This habit of creating intricate webs of thoughts can make even small challenges feel overwhelming. We become entangled in what-ifs, endless scenarios, and self-imposed pressures, often leading to stress and paralysis. However, Buddhism offers a timeless remedy for this mental overload: the beauty of simplicity. The principle of simplicity, deeply rooted in Buddhist teachings, is not about avoiding challenges or oversimplifying life's complexities. Instead, it's about cultivating a mindset that cuts through the unnecessary noise, allowing us to see things as they are. By breaking down overwhelming tasks or thoughts into smaller, more manageable parts, we create space for clarity, focus, and ease. This approach not only helps us solve problems effectively, but also restores a sense of peace to our often chaotic minds. Why the mind overcomplicates? Before exploring how simplicity can transform your thinking, it's important to understand why the mind tends to overcomplicate in the first place. Overcomplication often stems from fear of failure, fear of making the wrong decision, or fear of uncertainty. When faced with a problem, the mind tries to analyze every possible outcome, anticipate every obstacle, and account for every detail. While this might seem like a rational strategy, it often leads to overwhelm rather than resolution. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain, looking up at its towering peak. The sheer size of the climb can feel daunting, and your mind might start racing with questions. What if I don't make it? What if I encounter challenges I can't overcome? Instead of focusing on the first step, you're consumed by the entire journey, making the task feel impossible before you even begin. This is how overcomplication takes hold. It shifts your focus from the present moment to a tangled web of future possibilities, many of which may never materialize. The power of simplicity. Buddhist philosophy teaches us to embrace simplicity, not as a way to avoid life's challenges, but as a means to navigate them with clarity and wisdom. Simplicity involves stripping away the excess, focusing on what truly matters, and approaching problems with a calm, steady mind. Consider a glass of muddy water. If you stir the water, the mud swirls around, obscuring your view. But if you let the water settle, the mud sinks to the bottom, and the water becomes clear. Similarly, when your thoughts are cluttered and chaotic, it's difficult to see a clear path forward. By simplifying your approach and allowing your mind to settle, you create the mental clarity needed to address challenges effectively. Breaking down complexity. One of the most practical ways to apply simplicity to your thinking is by breaking down complex problems into smaller, manageable steps. Imagine you're tasked with writing a book. The idea of completing an entire manuscript might feel overwhelming, causing anxiety and procrastination. However, if you break the task into smaller parts, outlining the chapters, writing one paragraph at a time, editing a single section, it suddenly becomes more approachable. This method aligns with the Buddhist teaching of mindfulness, which emphasizes focusing on one moment or one step at a time. When you direct your attention to the present task rather than the entire mountain ahead, you free yourself from the weight of overwhelm. Each small step becomes a victory, building momentum and confidence as you progress. Applying simplicity to everyday life. Simplicity isn't just a tool for tackling big projects. It's a way of life that can transform how you approach everyday challenges. Here are some practical ways to embrace simplicity in your thinking and decision-making. 1. Prioritize what truly matters. When faced with a problem, take a moment to ask yourself, what is the heart of the matter? Often we become bogged down by secondary concerns or distractions that have little impact on the outcome. By identifying and focusing on the core issue, you can direct your energy where it's needed most, cutting away unnecessary complications. 2. Break it down. If a task feels overwhelming, break it into smaller, actionable steps. Write a to-do list, grouping similar tasks together, and tackle them one at a time. This not only makes the task more manageable, but also gives you a sense of accomplishment with each completed step. 3. Limit your options. Paradoxically, having too many options can lead to indecision and overthinking. Simplify your choices by narrowing them down to a few key possibilities. For example, if you're deciding what to focus on for the day, pick your top 3 priorities and set the rest aside. Declutter your mind. Much like a cluttered room can make you feel overwhelmed, a cluttered mind can hinder clear thinking. Take a few minutes each day to practice mindfulness or meditation, allowing your thoughts to settle. Even a brief moment of stillness can create mental space and clarity. 5. Adopt a beginner's mindset. In Buddhism, the concept of beginner's mind encourages us to approach each situation with openness and curiosity, free from preconceived notions or judgments. This mindset allows you to see problems from a fresh perspective, simplifying your approach and uncovering new solutions. The emotional benefits of simplicity. Simplicity doesn't just make problems easier to solve, it also has profound emotional benefits. By cutting through the clutter of overthinking, you create a sense of peace and focus that reduces anxiety and stress. When your mind is centered on the present moment and the task at hand, you're less likely to feel overwhelmed by hypothetical scenarios or external pressures. Moreover, simplicity fosters self-compassion. When you break problems into smaller steps, you give yourself permission to tackle them at your own pace, rather than expecting perfection or instant results. This gentler approach not only improves your mental well-being, but also enhances your overall effectiveness. Seeing the heart of the matter. At its essence, simplicity is about seeing things as they truly are. When you strip away the distractions, fears, and complications that cloud your thinking, what remains is the heart of the matter, the truth of the situation. This clarity enables you to respond to life's challenges with wisdom and confidence. Imagine you're looking at a tangled ball of yarn. At first glance, it might seem like an impossible mess to unravel. But if you focus on one thread at a time, patiently working through the knots, the tangle begins to loosen. Similarly, when you approach problems with simplicity, you untangle the chaos, revealing the clear path forward. Closing thoughts. The beauty of simplicity lies in its ability to transform not just your thinking, but your entire approach to life. By embracing this principle, you learn to navigate challenges with a sense of ease and clarity, cutting through the noise that often clouds your judgment. Simplicity is not about avoiding life's complexities, but about finding the most direct and effective way to address them. In a world that often values busyness over stillness and complexity over clarity, choosing simplicity is a radical act of self-care. It's a reminder that peace is not found in doing more or thinking harder, but in letting go of what is unnecessary and focusing on what truly matters. As you cultivate simplicity in your thinking, you'll discover a profound sense of freedom and focus. Your mind will feel less burdened, your decisions will become clearer, and your ability to face life's challenges will grow stronger. So the next time you're faced with a daunting problem, remember, take one step at a time, focus on the present moment, and let simplicity guide you to the heart of the matter. Principle 4. Question your assumptions. In Buddhist teachings, self-inquiry and introspection are emphasized as essential practices for gaining clarity, wisdom, and understanding of oneself and the world. These practices encourage us to look inward, question our assumptions, and uncover the beliefs that shape our thoughts and actions. Without this process, many of us live on autopilot, guided by unexamined ideas that influence our perceptions, decisions, and relationships without our conscious awareness. The power of unexamined beliefs. Every one of us holds beliefs that sit quietly in the background of our minds, influencing how we see the world. These beliefs may have been formed during childhood, shaped by societal norms, or inherited from family, culture, or past experiences. Over time, they become so ingrained that we rarely question their validity, even when they lead to patterns of thinking or behavior that limit us. For example, if you carry the belief, "I am not good enough," it might affect how you approach challenges. You may avoid taking risks or trying new things, fearing failure or rejection. Similarly, if you believe, "People can't be trusted," you might find it difficult to build meaningful connections or work collaboratively. These assumptions can create a mental framework that blinds you to alternative perspectives and more balanced ways of seeing things. Buddhism teaches that these unexamined beliefs act like filters, coloring every experience and interaction. They can distort reality, creating unnecessary suffering and preventing you from seeing situations clearly. This is why self-inquiry is so important. It's a tool to uncover the roots of these beliefs and evaluate whether they truly serve you. The practice of self-inquiry. Self-inquiry involves pausing and turning inward to question your thoughts, assumptions, and beliefs. It's not about doubting everything you know, but rather approaching your inner world with curiosity and openness. This practice creates space to reflect deeply on the origins and validity of the ideas that guide your life. When you find yourself in a challenging situation or feeling stuck, take a moment to ask yourself questions like, why do I believe this? Is this belief something I've truly come to on my own, or is it inherited from others? Does this belief align with my current values and experiences? What evidence do I have that this belief is true? Could there be an alternative perspective? These questions can help you untangle the web of thoughts and emotions surrounding a belief, allowing you to see it for what it truly is. Sometimes, you'll find that the belief no longer holds up under scrutiny. Other times, you may discover that it's rooted in outdated ideas, misunderstandings, or external influences rather than your own insights. The origins of limiting beliefs. Many of our assumptions and beliefs are shaped by early experiences or the environment we grew up in. For instance, you might hold the belief, success requires sacrificing happiness, because you were raised in a household where hard work was valued above all else, even at the expense of joy and fulfillment. If your parents or role models seemed constantly stressed or dissatisfied, you may have unconsciously adopted their worldview without questioning whether it aligns with your own values. Through self-inquiry, you might realize that this belief isn't universal. You could reflect on examples of people who lead successful lives while prioritizing happiness and balance. This realization can inspire you to redefine what success means for you and challenge the notion that sacrifice is a prerequisite for achievement. Similarly, societal expectations and cultural norms often shape our beliefs in subtle ways. For example, the belief, "I need to be busy to be worthy," might stem from living in a culture that glorifies productivity and hustle. By examining this belief, you may uncover its roots in external pressures rather than your true self. Breaking free from mental barriers. The process of questioning your assumptions can feel uncomfortable at first. After all, these beliefs may have been with you for years, providing a sense of identity or security. But as you begin to peel back the layers, you'll find that many of them no longer serve you, or never did. When you free yourself from outdated or limiting beliefs, you open your mind to new possibilities and perspectives. This flexibility allows you to approach situations with greater clarity and wisdom. Instead of reacting based on old patterns, you can respond thoughtfully and intentionally, guided by your current values and understanding. For example, if you've always believed, "I can't handle failure," you might avoid taking risks or pursuing ambitious goals. But through self-inquiry, you may realize that failure isn't something to fear, it's an opportunity to learn and grow. By reframing your belief, you empower yourself to embrace challenges with confidence and resilience. The role of curiosity in self-inquiry. Self-inquiry is not about harshly judging yourself or tearing down everything you know. Instead, it's about cultivating a sense of curiosity and openness. When you approach your beliefs with curiosity, you create a safe space to explore and grow. Rather than saying, "This is just how I am," try asking, "Is there another way to see this?" For instance, if you find yourself thinking, "I'm not creative," pause and ask where this belief came from. Was it based on a specific experience, like receiving criticism in school? Is it truly accurate, or have you simply been telling yourself this story for years? By exploring these questions, you might uncover hidden strengths or talents you hadn't acknowledged before. The benefits of self-inquiry. Engaging in regular self-inquiry brings profound benefits to your mental and emotional well-being. Here are a few ways this practice can transform your life. 1. Clarity of thought. By questioning your assumptions, you clear away mental clutter and create space for more balanced and rational thinking. This clarity allows you to approach challenges with a calm, centered mind. 2. Personal growth. Challenging your beliefs helps you grow and evolve. As you uncover outdated ideas, you make room for new insights and perspectives that align with who you are today. 3. Emotional freedom. Many limiting beliefs are tied to fear, guilt, or shame. By addressing these beliefs, you free yourself from their emotional grip, creating a sense of liberation and peace. 4. Authenticity. Self-inquiry helps you connect with your true self, separate from societal expectations or external influences. This authenticity allows you to live a life that feels more aligned with your values and desires. 5. Improved relationships. When you examine beliefs about others, such as people can't be trusted, you open yourself to deeper, more meaningful connections. Letting go of assumptions fosters understanding and empathy. A fresh perspective on life. As you engage in self-inquiry, you'll begin to see the world through a fresh lens. The beliefs that once felt like unshakable truths may no longer hold the same power over you. This newfound freedom allows you to approach life with an open heart and mind, unburdened by unnecessary limitations. Self-inquiry is not about doubting everything or abandoning your identity. It's about embracing the courage to ask, "Why do I think this?" and "Does this serve me?" Through this practice, you gain clarity, insight, and the freedom to create a life that feels truly authentic. When you challenge your assumptions, you open the door to personal growth and understanding. You may find that your beliefs evolve, reflecting the person you've become rather than the person you once were. This process allows you to live with greater intention, wisdom, and clarity, creating a life that aligns with your deepest truths. Principle 5. Embrace delayed judgment. In Buddhism, patience is considered a vital virtue, especially in how we form judgments or make decisions. In our fast-paced, hyper-connected world, we're often pressured to act swiftly, whether it's responding to a text, solving a problem, or forming an opinion about a situation or person. The emphasis on speed can lead to hasty judgments that may lack understanding or insight. Buddhism, however, offers a different approach, one rooted in patience and mindfulness, by encouraging delayed judgment. This practice invites us to pause, reflect, and create space for clarity before forming conclusions or taking action. Delayed judgment is not about procrastination or indecision. It is a deliberate act of slowing down to ensure that our responses are informed by wisdom rather than impulse. The challenge of snap judgments. Human beings are naturally inclined to make quick judgments. This tendency likely evolved as a survival mechanism, helping our ancestors assess threats and make rapid decisions in uncertain environments. However, in today's world, the same instinct often causes misunderstandings, emotional reactions, and poor decisions. Consider a challenging situation at work. Suppose you're working on a project and a colleague misses a deadline that impacts your progress. Your immediate thought might be, "They're unreliable," or "They don't care about this project as much as I do." Acting on this assumption, perhaps by confronting them harshly or complaining to others, could escalate tension unnecessarily. But what if you paused and delayed judgment? What if you took the time to gather more information or consider alternative perspectives? Perhaps your colleague was facing unforeseen personal challenges or simply misunderstood the deadline. By allowing space for reflection, you open the door to greater understanding and a more constructive approach. Creating space for clarity. Delayed judgment is about giving yourself the mental and emotional space to approach situations with clarity. When we act impulsively, our emotions, whether frustration, anger, or excitement, can cloud our thinking. In these moments, it's easy to jump to conclusions that don't reflect the full reality of a situation. Buddhist teachings often compare the mind to a glass of muddy water. When the water is stirred, it becomes cloudy, making it impossible to see clearly. But if you set the glass down and allow it to rest, the mud settles to the bottom and the water becomes clear again. Similarly, when you pause and delay judgment, your emotions and thoughts have time to settle, allowing your mind to regain clarity. This practice doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing emotions. Instead, it involves acknowledging them without letting them dictate your actions. For example, if you feel anger in response to a perceived slight, recognize that the anger exists, but resist the urge to act on it immediately. Instead, wait until the emotion subsides and your mind becomes calm. In this state, you're better equipped to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. The shift from reaction to response. One of the key benefits of delayed judgment is the shift it creates from reaction to response. A reaction is often automatic, driven by immediate emotions and surface-level perceptions. It's like a reflex happening without much thought. A response, on the other hand, is intentional and considers the bigger picture. It arises from a place of balance and awareness, taking into account the complexities of a situation. For instance, imagine you receive an email from a coworker that seems curt or critical. A reactive judgment might lead you to feel offended and fire off a defensive reply. But if you delay judgment and reflect, you might realize that the email's tone could be unintentional or that the person might be dealing with stress themselves. This perspective enables you to respond with understanding and professionalism, fostering better communication and preserving the relationship. Patience in a fast-paced world. In a society that prizes speed and efficiency, delayed judgment can feel counterintuitive. We're often conditioned to believe that quick decisions demonstrate competence and control. But not every situation demands an immediate response. In fact, some of the wisest decisions are those made after careful thought and consideration. Practicing delayed judgment helps cultivate patience, not just with others, but with ourselves. It reminds us that it's okay to take time to think, to ask questions, and to seek understanding before acting. This patience can build confidence in our ability to navigate complex situations as we learn to trust the process of reflection and inquiry. Delayed judgment and empathy. One of the most profound effects of delayed judgment is its ability to nurture empathy. When we hold back from snap judgments, we give ourselves the chance to consider others' perspectives and experiences. This not only deepens our understanding of people, but also strengthens our relationships. For example, if someone cuts you off in traffic, your initial reaction might be anger or annoyance. But delaying judgment allows you to consider other possibilities. Perhaps they're rushing to an emergency or simply made a mistake. While this shift in perspective doesn't excuse the behavior, it helps you approach the situation with compassion rather than unnecessary frustration. Empathy also helps us recognize patterns in our own reactions. You may notice that certain situations or people consistently trigger quick judgments. This awareness can highlight areas for personal growth, allowing you to explore why these triggers exist and how you might respond differently in the future. Practical steps to embrace delayed judgment. Incorporating delayed judgment into your life is a practice that requires mindfulness and intention. Here are some steps to help you get started. 1. Pause before responding. When faced with a challenging situation, take a moment to pause before reacting. Even a brief pause can create the mental space needed to consider your response. 2. Ask questions. Use moments of pause to reflect on the situation. Ask yourself, what do I know about this situation? What assumptions am I making? What might I be missing? 3. Acknowledge your emotions. Recognize your emotions without judgment. Labeling emotions, e.g., I'm feeling frustrated, can help create distance between you and your feelings, making it easier to approach the situation with clarity. 4. Seek additional perspectives. If possible, gather more information or consider alternative viewpoints. This might involve asking questions, observing the situation further, or simply giving yourself time to reflect. Practice patience. Remind yourself that not every decision or judgment needs to be made immediately. Trust that clarity will come with time, and that thoughtful responses are often more effective than impulsive reactions. 6. Reflect on outcomes. After practicing delayed judgment, take time to reflect on the results. Did the pause help you see things more clearly? Did it lead to a better outcome? Over time, these reflections can reinforce the value of this practice. The ripple effect of delayed judgment. As you make delayed judgment a habit, you'll notice its transformative impact not only on your decision-making, but also on your overall mindset. You'll become less reactive, more thoughtful, and better equipped to handle life's challenges with composure. This practice fosters a sense of inner peace as you learn to navigate situations without being swept away by immediate emotions or assumptions. Moreover, delayed judgment helps you build stronger, more harmonious relationships. By giving others the benefit of the doubt and seeking to understand their perspectives, you create an environment of trust and empathy. Over time, this approach deepens connections and reduces unnecessary conflict. Closing thoughts. In a world that often values speed over thoughtfulness, the Buddhist practice of delayed judgment offers a profound lesson. Wisdom arises not from rushing to conclusions, but from creating space for reflection. By pausing, observing, and allowing clarity to emerge, we can approach life with greater understanding and grace. This small act of patience becomes a powerful tool for self-mastery. It helps us respond to situations with wisdom rather than reacting impulsively, nurturing a sense of peace and balance. As you embrace delayed judgment, you'll find that it transforms not only how you think, but also how you interact with others and perceive the world. Ultimately, it's a practice that leads to deeper clarity, empathy, and alignment with your true self. Principle 6. Strengthen your mental filter. In Buddhism, the quality of the mind is central to a peaceful, meaningful life. One of the most effective ways to nurture this quality is by strengthening your mental filters. In today's world, where information, opinions, and distractions constantly bombard us, the mind can easily become overwhelmed. Strengthening your mental filters means consciously choosing which thoughts, influences, and beliefs to allow into your mental space, while letting go of those that don't serve your well-being. This practice fosters clarity, focus, and inner peace. The mind as a garden. Imagine your mind as a garden. The seeds you plant are your thoughts and the influences you allow into your life. Without careful attention, weeds, negative thoughts, harmful influences, or distractions can take over, crowding out the peace and clarity you need for clear thinking. Strong mental filters act as vigilant gardeners, helping you decide which seeds to nurture and which to remove. For example, if you regularly consume negativity, be it through critical self-talk, toxic relationships, or the news, it's likely to seep into your mind, shaping how you view yourself and the world. Over time, This mental clutter can create stress, anxiety, and confusion, obscuring your ability to think clearly. By strengthening your mental filters, you can cultivate a mental environment where positive, constructive thoughts thrive. The influence of social media. Social media is one of the most common sources of mental clutter in modern life. Constant exposure to comparisons, criticism, and sensationalized news can weigh down your mind and disrupt your peace. Strengthening your mental filters in this context means setting clear boundaries around your consumption. For instance, you might choose to limit the time you spend on certain platforms, unfollow accounts that evoke negativity, or actively seek out content that inspires and uplifts you. This doesn't mean ignoring reality or avoiding challenges. Rather, it's about consciously deciding how and when to engage with information so that you remain in control of what enters your mental space. By exercising this discipline, you protect your mind from unnecessary stress and create room for thoughts and influences that nourish your well-being. Managing self-critical thoughts. A significant part of strengthening your mental filters involves addressing the inner voice that often doubts, judges, or discourages you. Many of us carry self-critical beliefs, such as, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed." These thoughts can create mental barriers, hindering your ability to think clearly and objectively. Buddhist teachings encourage observing this inner dialogue with compassion and replacing negative thoughts with supportive ones. For example, if your mind often defaults to, "I can't do this," practice countering it with a constructive statement like, "This is a challenge, but I'm capable of learning and growing." Two powerful tools for managing self-critical thoughts are gratitude and self-compassion. Gratitude shifts your focus to what's going well in your life, helping you see abundance rather than lack. Self-compassion allows you to treat yourself with kindness and patience, reducing the power of self-critical thoughts. Regularly practicing these habits reinforces mental filters that support clarity, confidence, and resilience. Choosing your circle wisely. The people you surround yourself with play a crucial role in shaping your mental environment. If you're constantly in the company of individuals who are negative, judgmental, or prone to complaining, their mindset can start influencing yours. Over time, their negativity can become like weeds in your mental garden, disrupting your peace and clarity. On the other hand, spending time with people who are positive, supportive, and inspiring can uplift your spirit and encourage your personal growth. This doesn't mean avoiding those who are going through challenges or struggles. Instead, it's about being intentional with your interactions, prioritizing relationships that contribute to your mental well-being and alignment with your values. Letting go of what doesn't matter. Another aspect of strengthening your mental filters is learning to let go of things that don't serve your growth or peace. Not every comment, opinion, or situation deserves your energy. This might mean choosing to ignore gossip, releasing grudges, or refusing to engage in unnecessary arguments. By filtering out what doesn't matter, you conserve mental energy for the things that truly align with your purpose and values. For example, if someone makes a critical comment about you, instead of letting it consume your thoughts, you can reflect on whether the criticism has merit. If it doesn't, let it go. This ability to discern and release is key to maintaining mental clarity. Building resilience through mental filters. As you strengthen your mental filters, you'll notice that negativity has less impact on you. When challenges arise, you'll find yourself less reactive and more composed. Your mind becomes like a still, clear pond, undisturbed by the ripples of external influences. This resilience not only enhances your decision-making, but also reduces stress, helping you approach life with a sense of calm and purpose. In a world filled with distractions, attachments, and the pressure to react quickly, Cultivating clarity of mind is more important than ever. Fortunately, the teachings of Buddhism provide timeless principles to help us navigate life with greater focus and wisdom. Thank you for joining me on this journey toward clarity and peace of mind.